In my last video about the Osmo Action 6, I gave you more of an experience of what it was like to use as I was trying to figure out different things and just try it out and just play around with it. And so in this video, I'm gonna go through 15 things that you should know about the Action 6 if you're getting it or if you want to get it, because I didn't go into a lot of detail in that video about certain things and there were more things that I wanted to talk about. So this is the video. There might be more than 15 as time goes by, but I'm starting with 15. Okay, so the first thing is the most obvious because it's to do with one of the biggest features of the Osmo Action 6, and the one that I said in my previous video that if I didn't have the Osmo Action 6, it's the feature that I would buy the camera for. And that is to do with its 1/1.1 inch square sensor. And the reason that this is such a big deal is because if, like me, you shoot content not just for YouTube or not just for Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you can create one video and then you can crop it to be whatever you want. So it could be a vertical video, it could be a horizontal video, it could be a square video, and it just means that you're not having to shoot loads of different content all the time for these different platforms or try and crop a vertical video from a horizontal video and it just not look quite right. Plus, even if that's not a thing for you, even if you're not reposting or repurposing content, the other thing is to do with the fact that you can just reframe that footage. So if you shoot in the square aspect ratio and then you want to export it as, I don't know, vertical or horizontal video, then you can just reframe it a little bit, so you don't have to worry too much if you're in the frame or not. And funnily enough, I probably should have been filming in the square aspect ratio now, but I'm not doing it. But it gives you that flexibility to just play around with the framing later on, so you don't have to be too precise whilst you're actually filming. Okay, so the second thing to know is that this Action 6 now has a variable aperture. So it's from f2.0 to f4.0 and it has 5 ranges. It has auto aperture with 5 ranges for different environments. So that means, you know, I guess for the auto aperture, mainly for me, the biggest deal is the fact that in low light, the footage looks that much better because it's not having to compensate for adjusting the shutter speed as a priority or the ISO. So it will adjust the aperture first, or you can just set the aperture to f2, and then it means that you're going to get more stable footage and clearer footage. It's not going to be as noisy because the aperture is doing most of the work. So it's very handy in that respect. Look how beautiful this view is. So the other thing about the aperture as well is that I tried it with the macro lens, and one of the things that I didn't do when I was using it to film a talking head, because I was curious to see how blurred out the background was going to be. And it worked in terms of having a shallower depth of field, but you just need to hold the camera a lot closer to you so that you are still in focus and the background is a little bit blurry. So in that respect, if you're thinking, do you know what, that f2.0 would look really great for having that shallow depth of field, then I tried it without the macro lens as well, and it didn't seem to make a huge difference, but having it with the macro lens does make a difference. So it's well worth getting the macro lens if you want to have that versatility to do that. This view is incredible. Wow. Okay, so number 3 is film tones, and these actually work quite well. I was surprised at how nice the footage actually looks. So obviously you can shoot in the normal color profile, but if you want to add a little bit of a style or a specific look to your footage, then you can choose one of the pre-made film tones, and you can set the strength from, I think it's 30%, 50%, 70% and 100%. And obviously the stronger it goes, the more intense the look is. But even at 30%, with a little bit of a slight touch on there, it looks really nice. And yeah, if you just want to film in normal but you want to give it a specific look, then the film tones work really nicely. So I know I already mentioned the macro lens, but what I'm not sure if I said, because this was supposed to be 0.4, but I kind of mixed it in with the aperture. But what I forgot to say was when you use the macro lens, I think it does actually auto default to f2.0. So just something to note. But with the macro lens, you can actually dial in where the focus sits, because you've got this dial on the lens and you can have it so that it focuses to infinity on the background, or you can have it focus like close focus. So if you want that shallow depth of field, for example. So that's just something to know. If you are using the macro lens and you have it set to close focusing, make sure that when you want to get anything with the environment that you change it so it's on that environment setting, so you spin it all the way round to the other side so that everything is in focus, because I forgot to do this when I was getting some B-roll and everything was out of focus. So don't forget that little point there. Okay, so next there is someone's taking a picture there, let me get out of the way. There's an FOV boost lens, and this increases the field of view to 182 degrees, and when you attach the lens, much like the macro lens, then it auto detects and it will adjust your field of view for you. So if you pay attention to the tree in the background when I take the lens off, obviously with the wide angle lens there's going to be more distortion, but you can see how much distortion there is in comparison to shooting in standard D-Warp, for example. Okay, so the next point is to do with image quality, because obviously you've got D-Log M 10-bit, you've got normal 10-bit, and I've just been shooting in normal just so that, because most people shoot in normal with the action cameras, and so it just gives you an idea of what it looks like if you do nothing to the footage. And so yeah, normal 10-bit, D-Log M 10-bit, and the footage looks decent whether you shoot in either or. And the next point is actually to do with low light, and it's not dark yet so I can't show you. I do have loads of low light footage, but I'll wait until it gets dark because I'm out and I'm going to be out during that time as well. So if you pick this up, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the quality. I really don't. It's good. One of the things that I will say though is if it's a bright sunny day, to film with the sun in front of you rather than behind you, either in front of you or to the side of you, because that's going to give you the best quality footage. I quite like it when there's a little bit of contrast on my face or my body, so I'll try and stand like at a 45-degree angle from the sun. The sun's actually going down now, so I can't really show you right now. I'll have to get some footage. But if you have more light, then you're going to get better quality footage. So that's just a little tip, and it's something that I mentioned in another video. I think it was a nano video, and I've mentioned it before, but it's a good tip to know. So this place is very cool. I just came to watch sunset. I have no idea if I'm meeting my brother in the right place because he hasn't left the hotel yet, but I was in the area anyway because I went to the temple, and this is a hotel and it's very cool. Very cool. So it turns out I was in the wrong place. So I've come to the right place, and this is also equally as beautiful. I briefly touched on this earlier when I was talking about the variable aperture, because the other point is the fact that the Action 6 has really good low light. So obviously it's dark at the moment and I have the camera set to super night mode. And in my video where I just basically go around taking lots of footage, and it's the experience video, I show the difference between super night mode and then just the regular video mode. And so there is a difference, but the regular video mode still looks good. So if you want to see what that looks like, then watch that experience video. You'll be able to get a good indication. And you see that? I think the airport is really close to here. So we've been seeing planes taking off and landing whilst we were having dinner. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, the other video shows the regular video mode in low light. But as you can see, obviously I am standing next to a light, so let me just walk along a little bit. This is what the footage looks like in low light. In darkness. Well, it's dark, isn't it? But you know, you're still going to get usable footage that you can put in your videos. And it's worth mentioning as well that, what was I going to say? My settings, they're all set to auto, and the aperture is set to f2.0 as standard. So I haven't set that as a variable between two apertures, it is just f2. There's something worth mentioning about the image quality in low light, because when I look at the screen on the back, before I hit record, and on the front to be honest, when you look at it and it's low light, the image quality looks really, really bad. But as soon as you hit record, it clears up and it looks crisp, and it looks pretty much how it would look when you look at it on the screen. So if you look at the screens before you hit record and you think, what the fuck, what is that? Don't worry, it's not going to look that bad. And if it does, then something's gone wrong. Okay, so one of the other points, I feel like I don't even know what number point we're on anymore, because I've been putting all the points in with the other points. So let's just say whatever this point number is, there is a new field of view setting. So usually I use standard D-warp, but there's this one called natural wide, and what it does is it takes the wide field of view, but it gives less distortion. And I tried this already. You can still see some distortion when you've got lines, like if you've got any bars or poles or anything, there's still a slight bit of distortion, but it's not as distorted as if you were to just use the wide field of view. So that's one to try out. If you like using the wide field of view, then you have that option. I also meant to say that I'm filming in it at the moment, so I've got natural wide selected, and yeah, there's not, I mean there's trees, but they're bendy anyway, so I can't really, there's nothing really here. But it looks good. I was just looking at it on the back of the screen, and it looks better than standard D-warp because you can see more of the environment. So maybe I'll start using this more. Maybe not when I'm in somewhere like a city where there's loads of buildings, or a town or something where there's loads of buildings, but in areas like this where it's just lots of nature, then it's quite nice. Of course, you do just have to bear in mind that if you have any kind of lines in your shot, then it's going to be distorted in comparison to standard D-warp, where the lines are basically straight. So the other thing is, if you want to take this on holiday with you, then it's useful to know that it's waterproof up to 20 meters without a case. So that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. And the colours actually look all right when it's underwater. So it's just something useful to know. I think that, I can't remember if the Action 5 was the same. I feel like it was 20 meters, but yeah. Okay, so a few other things. I'm just going to run these off really quickly because they don't require much detail. So Osmo Audio, you can connect up to 2 wireless microphones like you can with the Action 5, whereas with the Action 4 you can only connect 1 microphone wirelessly. You can do 2 with the Action 6, which is great if you film with somebody else. The Action 6 fits really seamlessly into the DJI ecosystem because you can use the same batteries, you can use, again, the microphones, you can use the same mounts, the same selfie sticks, literally everything that you've had from previous action cameras with the DJI series, you can just use everything. So again, it just makes it easy if you're upgrading from one to the other. So next you get 50 gig of internal storage, and it's the same as the Action 5, which also has internal storage. So you can either shoot with no SD card, or you can expand it and add an SD card up to 1 terabyte, I think it is. And that's plenty if you want to be filming all day. I've been filming this whole trip, and it was yesterday, I think, when I ran out of space on the camera. So, and I've been filming a lot. I can't tell you how many hours of footage it is. It's probably like 2.5 hours perhaps. But I shoot short clips. It's probably more than that actually. But I do tend to shoot just short snippets at a time. Like a minute here, 2 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. But yeah, it's been plenty. I did forget my SD card, so I did have to offload some of the footage. But you have that option. And then finally, oh, there's a little swing here. And then finally, what was I going to say? What's the last one? What was the last point? Oh, that was it. 2 times lossless zoom. So you can use the zoom feature, and it's supposed to give you better quality than with the Action 5, for example, which was a digital zoom, so 2 times digital zoom. And again, you can see that in my Action 5 comparison video to see how different the zooming is. But yeah, 2 times lossless zoom. So if you want to just have different types of shots where it's not just all super wide, then it's a good feature to have, especially if the quality is decent. I haven't tried it yet, I have to say. I put it on the list because I thought, oh yeah, lossless zoom, let's see what that looks like. So, I mean, you can see it now because I've already shot the footage. But I don't know what it looks like because I haven't seen the footage yet. But however many points that was, I feel like it was maybe 14. I lost count. But they're the main things that I would say are useful to know about the Action 6. And like I said, if you want to see the comparison video with the Action 5, and then also just see what it was like for me to use whilst I've been on this trip, then you can check out those 2 videos. And there's going to be more because I'm going to go through all my settings with you so that you know what the best settings are, especially if you're picking this up for the very first time and it's your first action camera. And if you are picking this up for the very first time and you are getting in your own head and you're overthinking how to film and what to film, then I really suggest, you probably know what I'm going to say, I suggest you come and join my 30-day challenge. Make the damn video. That's what we're doing. That's what it's all about. And it's a free challenge. You come and join it. Sign up. 1 video a day, every day for 30 days. It's a short video. They don't take you that long. They shouldn't take you that long. And it just helps you to get out of your head, stop overthinking, stop trying to be perfect and just make a damn video. And there's a really great community attached to it as well. It's become very supportive, very friendly, lots of encouragement, accountability. So it's just good vibes. So come through, yeah? And I will see you on the next video. I've dropped a link in the description to the challenge and to the Action 6. And I'll see you on the next video.